Hello everyone. In this video I want to show you how I use i3 WM Window Manager, and this is the default configuration, and I don't really like the default configuration because in this case it uses a modifier that is Alt. So to be honest, when you use Alt and you have a US layout, you can use also the right Alt. So you can use the right Alt for the left keys and the left Alt for the right keys. So you combine your hands. So you have the left hand on the modifier here and your right hand on the key you want to press. But Alt is a key that is used by many applications. So I don't really like to use Alt as a modifier, and I suggest to use the Win key. But the Win key is something that you have only on the left, because many keyboards don't have two Win keys. The natural idea is to not use keys on the left, because if you are pressing the Win key, then your left hand has to do some weird or funky movement to do your combination, and you will use only the keys on the right when you press the Win key with your left hand. This is the first idea that is behind my configuration. Another idea is that I don't really like to use workspaces with a label, or to be more precise, if you have to go to the second workspace with the default i3 config, you have to press Win key and 2. In my case, instead, I use the workspaces more on an adaptive way, like it does on GNOME or other desktop environments, or even Windows. You just go to the next workspace, alright, or the previous workspace. And I will show you later how it works. Another thing is that the movement is not on JKL and semicolon, but on HJKL, like it works on V or VI or Vim. Okay. Now I will show you my config, and this config is on a repository that I will link in this video, and I think it is good to show it and talk about it. I divided the config file on sections. The first section is the MISC session with just fonts. The second section has the variables, where I set the modifier key. I set 3 variables to save the path to the scripts that I need to use, and I will talk of them after. And I save also my application launcher, I call it, and it is Rofi with its settings. I prefer this more than having a config file on its own. Here there's the binding session, and here I've chosen Ctrl plus Shift plus Q to kill stuff. So for example, if I open a terminal, I kill it with Ctrl Shift Q. And to open the application launcher, I've just done it. It is the modifier pure plus return. Sorry, pure is Italian, plus is English. Yeah, modify plus return. And if I want to change focus, so change the application I'm looking at, I use mod plus L, for example, to go right, or 8 to go left. And let's say I want another application, so I'll do some stuff that I will explain after. Now I have a terminal under Firefox, and I can go up with mod and K and down with mod and J. Alright, so this is the movement. Then we have also the movement of the window. So if I want to move the window from where it is now, I can do mod Ctrl 8 to move this window left. And in this case, it is inside another container, you can see. So if I move it left, I move it out of the container, really. If I do now mod Ctrl left, you see that before it was here, and now it is at the left of OBS. That is the application that I'm using to record myself. Yes, I'm recording. And all right, so it is the same for the other stuff. So if I open, sorry, wrong idea. If I open a terminal here, I can move it up, move it down, all right, with Control Mod J or Control Mod K. Now, switch to next workspace. We don't have a second workspace, so we have to create it. And let's see also, switch to previous workspace is mod plus P. Switch to next is mod plus N. To create is mod plus I. And I stands for insert, N stands for next, P stands for previous. And all right, mod plus E, plus I, sorry, again, E is Italian. Mod plus I insert a new workspace and it opens the app launcher. Because if I open a new workspace, it is because I want to open something on the new workspace. It's not really useful to have an empty workspace, right? So now I will open here a terminal. And now I can go to the previous with mod plus P and to the next one with mod plus N. Sorry, I press N 2 times for some reason. Now we know how to open a workspace. We know how to move. To move the current application to the next workspace, you just have to add control. All right. So to the next workspace now, Firefox is there. And to move it back, Control plus P. It is the same idea of nest and previous, but with control added to the movement to move stuff, right? And now you have everything to move around. And at this point, we have like the toggle, I call it, or I call it on off. And its real name is toggle, of the layout from tabbed to split or vice versa. So with the mod plus O, I can go in the splitted mode or on the tabbed mode. I usually use the tabbed mode or the splitted mode if I have like 2 applications. Like here I have a terminal, I have another Firefox, and usually when I have to write code or do stuff like that, I have the browser on the right or the left and the terminal on the other side, like this. And if I want to have the space, the complete space, right, of my monitor, I just toggle, all right? And I call this on-off because it is maybe easier to remember that you want to press the O key. Now, there's the toggle tiling floating, but this is the same as i3. So if you want this window to be floating, is control plus mod plus space. You see, this is now floating. Press again to go with a normal, the default behavior of it being tabbed with the other ones. And yeah, if you want to focus a window or the background, let's say, sorry, the background is just mod and space. You need this when you have some application that opens a floating window where you have to change the focus, or you can also click on it with the mouse. Now we have seen everything pretty much, and we need some mode, and I've done the yawn mode, and here there's a little thing that I will have to fix, and so you go in with mod plus Y, and yawn because I think that I'm pretty tired maybe of my configuration, so I want to reload it with C, or restart it with R, or I want to exit i3 because I'm tired of using my computer, so I press E. These are the same bindings of i3, but you have to go inside a mode to use them. Instead, here you have to, on the default configuration, you have to press mod, shift, and the key. Here you have to press mod plus Y and then press what you want to do. All right. And to exit, the idea is to press again mod plus Y or return or escape. Here is the little bug that I will have to fix because I was using a slash some time ago. And also here, now modify mode, it is the way that you use on default i3 with the modifier and these keys to go full screen or use the stacked layout or resize or default layout, tabbed layout. I've just moved them inside a mode. So you go in the mode with mod plus M, and now I can split horizontally this container. So if I open something, it splits on the horizontal axis this container with the new application. And then it is the same for the other stuff. It is just normal i3. All right. And with horizontal mode, vertical mode, stacked mode, tabbed mode, full screen, toggle vertical horizontal. Yeah, if you want to, if you are in splitted mode vertically, you can do this to go horizontally. And yeah, bind sim A to focus parent and D to focus side. This is pretty much how it works on i3. All right. Now here is not, yeah, it is a focus parent. The focused side, I've put it in on D. Instead, there's the menu. All right. It's a little different. Maybe some binding is different, but not many. And all right. Then there's the resize mode. This should be the same as i3, where you do mod plus R. Yeah. And then there's the user mode, where you have to put the bindings that you want. For example, here I have stuff to switch my audio between my headphones or my monitor, and in this case, the only one that you need, and it is here, is to sort the numbers of the workspaces. You don't really need to do this. It's just to have stuff that looks good, let's say. Because if you go on a second workspace, then you do a third workspace, you open the terminal, right? Then you go on the second one and move everything on the third, you have the workspace number 1 and the workspace number 3. If you're working and doing stuff, you don't care, because as I said, you move to the previous and to the next, so they are always in order in this sense. So it is not really a problem. But for some reason you don't like to see 1 and 3, you want to see 1 and 2, you go to the user mode, you press R, and you reorder. This is because this is why I use R, the numbers. It is just a reordering of the numbers, but it is the same. Your workspaces are the same. And at this point, there's X, where you put your executables, like I have pcom, and Windows rules, because some Windows behaves badly, like the disk application, which wouldn't give you a title bar, like many other GNOME applications. Alright, this is pretty much it. There are the scripts that I use to do stuff like sorting the workspaces, and to create a new workspace, and to move to next workspace stuff. This is needed because if you don't have something on the second workspace, i3 wouldn't create a new workspace for you. Instead, doing this, as you can see, it created a workspace and moved it to the next workspace. And also create new workspace, it is the same thing. There's not a command for i3 to create a new workspace, because workspaces and i3 are binded to a certain letter, a certain number, and yeah, this is it. You can check the scripts, but they are pretty simple. I think I explained it long enough. Thank you for watching. See you next.